My name is Raheem Nelson. I'm in the studio with Yves Wilson. Yves, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I'm welcome.
Yeah.
So, I've seen your work online. I know that you were looking at selling off some pieces and inviting people in the space to view your work and looking at starting, I guess I'll say fresh from my interpretation of the social media posts and everything. What brought about, I guess, this shift for you in terms of your work and where you're headed and everything?
Yeah. So thanks for checking out my work, by the way, man. And
Absolutely.
it was really good to have you. I really, can't wait to see what you put together from the studio visit.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, man. And it feels good too. Like, I've been bringing my work to the print medium for some time now, and working in print has been very fulfilling for me. Being able to work in cyanotype or even painting on canvas has been great. But I'm really thinking more so about the times that we're in and the immediacy of photography and film. And I do feel that we're working with a visually sophisticated audience, right?
Yeah.
So people that are watching, this YouTube video, people that are scrolling through our Instagram posts, it's no longer a time where we're having adult conversations and then, there are children's conversations, or there are conversations between scholars and only scholars, and then there's like more pedestrian level conversations. I think we're in a time where everything is jumbled and mixed, and honestly, this is what I've been waiting for such a long time. So a few years, I had the pleasure of being the director of photography for an artist named Candace Williams, who brought me in to shoot her piece that was displayed at the Whitney. And it was something that I really was able to use all of the skill sets that I had gained working on feature and episodic film and television. And I noticed how people interacted with the pieces as opposed to looking at more traditional medium like sculpture and print. And my goal with my work has always been to speak directly to the audience as quickly as possible, to convey a message, but not just my message, just to ignite a conversation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And my goal now is to work in a way that's sustainable as well. And I'm looking at the way things are as far as like our planet and my concerns around the environment and what I'm leaving behind. And I'm more so interested in ideas, like creating ideas and conversations around those ideas. And so I've been experimenting with film. I still do have my archive of print work that I'll have and that I'll make continually, hopefully for the rest of my career.
Yeah.
But the work that I'm moving into now is much more cerebral, right? And it's more in the line of writing and storytelling, and then conveying that through a series of images, whether that be a series of still images or motion and dialogue. Yeah.
Excellent. That's very cool.
Yeah.
So you're playing in the realm of not only film, photography, but you're also considering just creating artwork that is sustainable, like not just for you, but for like the planet.
Yeah.
And I think that's very admirable. Like it's not just art for art's sake, which I think is really great. So my next question is, what keeps you motivated to create artwork?
Yeah, man. Motivation is funny, man.
Sure is.
Motivation is funny because I am definitely not always motivated. You know what I mean? That's a really interesting question. It's funny because I think about this a lot because I see my artistic process. I see my artistic process not as one that needs motivation. It's more so I think of myself as like a athlete, right? Where I'm just going to practice every day, right?
Okay.
So I'm just shooting in the gym, or if I was like a scientist, like, and that's how I view artists too, like where we're just working on a project. We're all in, let's say like biology and like some aspect of biology where, we're working on a specific problem or a conversation. There will be one scientist that gets, the Nobel Prize, but we're all doing the research, right?
Yeah.
So that's how I view things, like not necessarily like motivation, but I will say, just so I'm not being like devil's advocate right here,
Right.
I am motivated by my environment and by the people in it.
Yeah.
And like street level art, street, like people on the street, objects on the street, right? The conversations that we're having at like the most base level so people can interact and feel comfortable around each other. The things that we use to break the ice and relate to one another, those things are what inspired me. They could be memes. It could be, graffiti on a storefront. It could be, some kind of like some food that is like that people are that's trending, or like, or perhaps when I'm in New York, I love to see how people interact with each other in small spaces. I'm constantly looking at how people react to each other in their environment, and our environment also includes the images that we look at, So that's what I'm inspired by. Yeah, man. Yeah. So many things, man. So many things. Yeah.
So you're also somebody that goes back and forth between Connecticut and New York. I do too.
Yeah.
So what's your experience like with that in terms of, I'll say, family and also creating artwork? Like, what's the energy like for you when you're in Connecticut versus when you go to New York, and then the back and forth? What's that experience like?
Yeah, man. It's an interesting experience, man. It's a push and pull. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure you feel it yourself too, Like, here is very much, or I tell myself, right? I fool myself and say, this is for family and rest, right? And then New York is work, inspiration, right? And making those new connections. But I feel more than ever that I'm trying to bridge the two. So, this can be my rest in a way, but also it's my working rest, right? But and then when I'm in the city, I'm always thinking about how I can get out of just the I'm here to produce mindset, and also take in my environment and use it as a place where I'm also just living and existing, and that can inform my daily life as well. Because I was in the film industry for years, and so I would just go, get on the train, come back home, get things done, make my money, and then plant myself here at home until the next time. But being in New York and being part of the creative community there is not just a place where it's not just extractionary. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
like
understand.
for real. I really just want to be part of. I want it to be. I mean, how can I say this? When I'm in the city, I'm thinking that it's a compliment, right, to my life here. When in the past it was purely just like motivated by getting money or like excelling in my industry. But I can't deny that it's part of what inspires me and inspires my work, and the people and the energy there is something that is just, you can't get that anywhere else, man.
Right.
You know what I mean? For real. And like, I have this internal battle with myself too, where it's like, should I base myself in one area or not? But I really don't think that we have to make that choice these days, especially like online, and being able to talk to and interact with other creatives, here, there, or internationally. Like, our proximity to New York is a really, like, we're very lucky.
Yeah, we are.
You know what I mean? Like, that we have access to the greatest city in the world, in my mind, just an hour and a half train ride away, and all the creatives and opportunities there, So that's how I'm viewing things now. But that's just, that's, my ideas are always in flux, man. So that could change, 10 minutes from now. But that's how I feel right now, Yeah, man. Yep.
Cool. So I wasn't able to make your film screening in Bridgeport, right?
Yeah.
How was that like for you? Because I saw some of the press come out and everything. It looked like it was like amazing.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So it was awesome. And it's funny because I shot that film in New Haven. I shot it with people that I met at the park. There's a park called Edgewood Park.
I grew up around there.
Oh, okay, cool. And and I'm hearing that it's a beloved park
it is.
as well. And so I would go there for mental rest or to just take long walks. And I just started meeting people in the community there, artists as well. And I started to ask people why they went there, just, whatever their reasons were, for peace or just for inspiration or just to write or just their daily habits. And I started to make a piece that I wanted to reflect on the times that we're in, but a piece without dialogue, right? A piece that was about more so the unspoken gestures between people, right? And I wrote this piece, and originally it was for one screen. It was all supposed to happen in one screen. But then I started to look at the environment around me. So there was the waterways, there were these like East Rock and West Rock, and these like kind of mountainous or these, you know, these big hills, you know, out here. And so I started to collect these environments as well. So I took the stories, right? And then I collected the environments, and then I decided to split those subjects into 3 screens.
Okay.
And so it became now an environment of its own. Having all 3 of these films play simultaneously allowed people to experience what my subjects were experiencing, but without the dialogue, and then set them into a place. I'm gonna play it for you, man.
Oh, please.
Yeah.
Definitely more than interested.
Yeah. You know,
I love the sound of it. That sounds
yeah,
very cool.
and then the sound too, man.
Yeah.
Is a big thing, man. So I would field record, and this is something I always wanted to do in my world. But you know, you can't do that working on like a big movie. You know, the smaller projects allow for it, man. So I would field record the stream over there, right?
Yeah.
Or I would record, you know, the sounds of like the birds or the people, their breath and whatnot. And I think that it translated in a way that was very powerful because we hardly get to take the time unless we're going out there alone, you know, for a walk or just to connect with nature. We don't get the time in a group setting to experience those things because it's filled with, you know, interactions or noise or, you know, even just scrolling, you know. So, yeah, the piece is 7 minutes total running time, right? But you hear these things, the people, the subjects are in slow motion, and the reception to it was powerful, man. Like, I wasn't expecting, like, some of the reactions that I got. People, you know, sat in the space multiple times over the course of the weekend that it was exhibiting. And yeah, I was happy, man. So that's the direction for now that I'm going to be going with my work, man. The reception was amazing. Excellent. Yeah. I'll send you some pictures and, you know, you can share. Yeah, share with people. Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
Yeah, man.
So closing out, tell me what's next? Like, what's on the horizon?
Yeah, you know, in the horizon for me are more film projects. So I've been writing quite a bit, and I'm really interested in including actors and other filmmakers in the process of these short films and telling these stories that are not traditional. Yeah. And also in a non-traditional fashion. Okay. So my goal this year is to produce and shoot at least 2 of these projects, and then also in the near future, in September. And then in January of next year, I have residencies as well. So I have a residency in France next year, January, and then I have a residency in Venice coming up as well. The Venice one is for sustainable printmaking. Okay. So I'm really happy about that. I'm also going to be taking some classes there in sustainable printmaking, right, which is something close to my heart. And then the one in France is a film project. Since I was born in France, I'll be able to have some I'll be able to do more research and be closer to the subjects that I'm interested in, and what better environment could I ask for? Yeah. You know, where it's located. You know what I mean? Absolutely. It's in the south of France, and the staff that are hosting the artists are also artists. So I'm excited about that. Yeah, sounds amazing. Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks, and hopefully you come to one of my shows in the near future too. I will definitely do that. For real, man. You know, close to home or nationally. You know, I plan on exhibiting again next year. Cool. Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, thank you for your time. Yo, thank you so much. I'm really glad you came by, man. Yeah, this means a lot, man. You know, like really, you know. And then next time, we're gonna go suit shopping. Yeah, for sure.